Hey everyone, welcome to DKFC, where we're talking Euros 2016. That's right, an exciting tournament. What could make it more exciting? The gentleman I'm talking with. Joining me, Andy Davies, Tyrone Atkins, and former Spurs, Euros and World Cup legend, Darren Anderton. Nice to have you here, Darren. Thanks for taking your time in your busy schedule to be with us, bunch of losers. All right, we've been really getting into the Euros so far, and first game we're going to talk about, the big game. It's England versus Wales. England played very well. Wales eked out a win. Darren, what are your thoughts so far on the way England played?
Well, they played well. Great performance. Should have won the game comfortably, but gave away the terrible last-minute goal, which just makes the game feel like they got beat, and then puts so much pressure on this next game. Whereas Wales, they got a great result, and are looking forward to it with much less pressure. How
does it feel going into the locker room when you've just had that taken out of your sails? Like you've had the game, you've had all these chances, you've kicked the ball at the goalie a lot and hitting the posts a lot. How does it feel though?
Oh, it's the worst feeling. It's a big tournament. You're waiting for this game to come around, and you want to get off to a good start. The performance was good. You know, most of the players as individuals will go back to the change rooms thinking, well, you know, I've played well, which is always nice. But when you give away a goal in the last minute of any game, let alone at the first game of a tournament, it's a killer.
So far in the England game, it's only been one game. Who's impressed you, and who is maybe needs a lot of room for improvement?
For me, I think most of the boys played well. Going forward, I thought Lallana was a handful. Dele Alli, Harry Kane didn't get in the game as much as you'd probably like. Disappointment-wise, probably I would go for Sterling, just in the fact that he had lots of good opportunities in good areas. I mean, I think he frightened them to death with his pace, but when he got in that final third, final ball was not good enough at times. And that is something that has been, aimed at him over the last couple of years anyway, and it's something that hopefully as he gets older, his decision-making and his final ball into the box will be better.
Well, let's talk about this game tomorrow. Gentlemen, we're excited about this match. Thursday, 2 p.m., England versus Wales. England needs to win this one. Wales got a good win from Team Bale. Can we just call them Bales instead of Wales? Is that just an easier thing? They're just
to really upset them, yes.
You know me, I'm always upsetting. So, what do we guys think? Andy, what do you think about this match, England-Wales? How do we see this one going?
Well, I agree with Darren. I thought we played really well against Russia. I think maybe Hodgson's substitutions were a bit negative, and I just sort of felt that maybe Russia were there for the taking, and we could have just as easily won that one 2-0 as draw it 1-1. Bale's been really sort of winding England up over in the press, saying that Wales are going to have more passion, and that also none of the England players can get into the Wales side, which I'd have loved a couple of years ago when he was a Spurs player, but not so much anymore. So shut up, mate. There's also, do you agree, Darren, that there's a little bit of a parallel to Euro '96 about this as well, with a sort of disappointing draw, followed by essentially a derby, which is going to set itself apart from a lot of other games in the Euro. I think we're going to win this. I think we've got too much for Wales. Yes, Wales have got Gareth Bale, they've got Aaron Ramsey, but we've also got a very good midfield. I thought Rooney had a really good game. This, for me, is a game for the captain to step up. I think this has got Wayne Rooney written all over it. I've got this one down as a 2-1 to England.
2-1.
2-1 to England, but a comfortable 2-1.
2-1. Now, you mentioned harkening back to 1996. Your second round, you played another part of the, Britain. You played home nation. You played Scotland. You won 2-0. Do you think, how was that for you guys after coming in, playing Scotland after that sort of 1-1 draw for you guys?
In a way, it was the perfect game for us because we played the first game. We were terrible. Everyone's waiting for the tournament to start in our own country. We should beat them comfortably, go 1-0 up, and then all of a sudden the second half got all edgy. They get the equaliser. So then the next game, we had to wait a week. It felt like the longest week in the world, but playing against Scotland is always such a big game anyway. It doesn't really matter how you play, it matters that you win. And in that game, we weren't great, but we won the game 2-0. The tournament changed for us, and the confidence that came through that win and Gazza's goal was what started the tournament for us there and then. So that's what I'm hoping for England tomorrow. Get that result and get the tournament going.
Get off an early start.
Is there a sense when you go into a game like that, I mean, England going into a game against Wales, that because they know the opposition so well, that you can sort of not relax, but it's nice to have that sort of sense of familiarity about what's coming up ahead of you, that there's players that you've played against sort of week in, week out.
Yeah, I think so. But I think sometimes the worst thing with doing something like that is if you look at the two teams, you'd say that we should win on paper. That yes, they have Gareth Bale, so players have played against him, know what he's all about. I think as a team that's a little bit more defensive, like Wales will be, in order to their main thoughts will be to stop England playing, and then get the ball to Bale to do his magic. And that's, I think it sets up for them quite nicely. But I agree with you. England play well, England win. It's as simple as that. So that, I think it'll be tight, but I think I'll probably go for a 1-0.
1-0. Tyrone, how about yourself? What are you thinking about in this game?
I think it'll be 2-0 to England. I think it'll be pretty comfortable. For what you said, Darren, it's if England play well, we're too good for Wales. It's Bale aside, is this Wales team any better than any Wales team in the last 20 years? When you look at your Gary Speeds and you look at your Ryan Giggses and your Bellamy's, they haven't really got any players like that. I mean, Ramsey's good on his day, but he can't compare to the midfielder we're putting out tomorrow. Bale is world class, no doubt, but England play well, England will win. I've got a question for you, Darren. Team spirit, because the last time I saw a very strong, unified England outfit, it was just after the dentist chair. It was the Hong Kong deal just before Euro '96, 20 years ago. You were there, Darren.
Certainly was.
You were. I'm not going to ask too many questions. I think we all know what occurred. But team spirit.
I can't remember.
Perfect. Good answer.
Good answer. But team spirit seems huge because since then we've had some great individuals, but it's been a lot of individuals. So if we look at the golden generation, which it's fair to be said would be the generation just after yours, and you were just overlapping with those guys. We're looking obviously Lampard's, Beck's,
Stevie
Gerrard's,
of course.
All these great players, but it never really galvanised. No. It never really gelled in.
Well, there's always talk of cliques and things like that, and I think that's a bad word for it. At the end of the day, if you go to the England squad now, most of the Tottenham boys would probably be, in their own groups, but then mingling with everyone else, and that's what happens. But like you're saying there, Euro '96, we were a team. It was, it wasn't anything to do with individuals. And when you play international football, the hardest thing to do is to get players to gel. I mean, it takes time. So the more you do stuff with your teammates, they become mates as opposed to just people you're playing with. That helps so much because you do more for your mate. You look after your mucker as such on the pitch, and that's what we had. We went out. We had a couple of nights out, which was everybody complained about. But what it did, it brought us together as a tight knit. That we stuck up for each other. No one's. There was lots of things were being said about players. So you're almost looking after each other. There was an incident on the plane on the way home. A screen got broke. It was all over the news that we'd smashed up the plane. We didn't. It never came out who did it. It was all kept within, behind closed doors, and we took it together. The fine and everything like that.
It was you, wasn't it?
Yeah. What are you talking? You got to tell us who did it. Who broke the screen?
No idea.
That'd be one of those.
But what it did, it made us play like a club team.
Yeah. So you unified then and everything.
And that's what helps. And I think that what you're saying there is yes, this team does seem to have that. They do look like a group of young lads all enjoying their football, playing together. And of course, the fact that there are Spurs, I've got to say 5 players in the team.
And they're all around the same age.
They're all the same age. They enjoy each other's company, and that's what it's all about. So it has to help. The sooner you can get a group of international players to gel and play together like a team, then you've got half a chance.
Do you find it more difficult sometimes these days where you've got, I think more sort of, we were talking earlier about these sort of athletes, how people are more sort of honed, and they're sort of more for money and going towards clubs. Do you find it harder to gel with people that are more sort of younger and sort of focused on moving internationally and playing in different clubs?
Well, I think that everyone's different, and that's what it's all about. And everything's about media now, and certain players, no doubt, over the years will go away and they're playing with England. Their main concern is to play well themselves. If the team wins, that's a bonus. But everybody wants to do well for themselves, but the team should be the number one. That's what matters. And sometimes you don't get that. But this looks like a team to me. And that's why I think they've got a great chance.
I personally would never advocate that everyone should go out and get, go on a massive bender and get pissed. No. But it does seem that nowadays they're more interested in playing FIFA and playing video games and whatnot.
Exactly, yeah.
So, I mean, maybe this is a different subject about characters, but nonetheless, if they're all on the same page, then that's the right thing.
It's Gerrard's Darts League, isn't it, apparently?
He's got a dart.
Joe Hart's got a darts league going on amongst the England players.
Amazing.
That was apparently so well organised that he was writing to them, making sure that they got the right arrows and the right flights. I'm not making this up.
Wow.
Really?
Weights, yeah. He's got Joe Hart's dart league.
He's got lots of
He
factoids.
should take over Freddie Truman's indoor league.
They set up little bookies for that, or
Oh, bounce it, surely.
I imagine so.
Well, that's our predictions for the England game. Rounding results here, I believe it's going to be a 2-1 game, but England's going to win. That's what everyone says. So, you know what? Don't even bother watching the game. Don't even bother calling in sick. Don't even bother calling in drunk. Don't even bother trying to make an excuse to the boss. The game's already been won. England won the game. Just, you want to play along? Go to DraftKings.co.uk. You could win big. Welcome to the big time.